Hey guys, it's Randy here at etrailer.com. We get inquiries from customers all the time about different lights and how to get their trailer set up. Today we're going to be taking a look at a license plate light. Now this is required in most areas to illuminate your license plate so it can be seen. The one we have here today is from Optronics. This is going to be an LED light, so it gives us cleaner and brighter light. And they tend to last a lot longer than your incandescent lights. You're going to see mainly trailers nowadays when people go to rebuild them, they start switching these lights out so they can get good, nice, clean, bright looking and fresh looking lights when comparing those to the incandescent type. This one in particular is going to be one of the better looking license plate lights that we have here on offer at eTrailer. You can see it has a really nice streamlined look, but it also has that fully chrome case. Now this is going to be a polycarbonate case, so it's going to be pretty resilient, and it's sonically sealed, so we don't have to worry about any moisture getting in there. Without moisture getting in there, our lens is going to stay nice and clear. And you see it gives us that nice bright light that we're used to out of most LEDs. Also, they use surface mount technology in this light. Essentially, that's just a very rugged design. It helps us to ensure that as we bounce down the road, you know, trailers bounce and move a lot, that we're not going to have any problems with the connections located inside. Now this is going to be available in two different mounting configurations. You can see that either the studded type here, where you'll pass that through your item and secure it on the back with nuts, or with a surface mount type like this. Now this is a very, very common one, but on a lot of utility trailers, they'll often mount this to a flat piece of steel. Then you can simply pass that through and secure it on the back side. Now as far as dimensions go, the light's going to be about 4 1/8 inches wide. It's going to be about 2 3/4 of an inch long, or how far it sticks up off of the base that you mount it to. And it's going to be about 1 7/8 inches thick. All in all, I really like the light. I like that it's got the polycarbonate lens that's sealed up. I think it'll be a great addition. I think on just standard utility trailers, you might go with something steel because those tend to encounter a lot more stuff getting near them or wanting to bounce into them. But I think in a lot of situations where it's a camper, a nice enclosed trailer, car haulers, things like this, having this on there can really add a nice little touch. Now in the stud mount style, you can see we're going to have about 1 3/4 of an inch from center to center on those mounts. So you'll just want to ensure that that's the spacing you have and ensure that that'll work on that plate. When we look at the bolt mount, we're looking at 3 1/4 inches from center to center there. That's going to work out really well with kind of most of the older styles here. We're going to pull this off and it should be a direct bolt-on replacement for us. Ours happens to use a square bit, but sometimes these are 8-point. You just never really know. They might just be self-tapping screws, so use whatever bit you need to get that removed. Now we're going to trim our wire here. We're going to go around to the back side and gain access there so we can find our connection. Now in some cases, if you have an enclosed trailer like this, your hole may be large enough here where that'll pass in and out. If that's the case, just pull it out, and you can do it that way as well. Of course, on the stud mount, you're going to be going through a thinner piece of metal, so that shouldn't give you any issues at all at finding where that wire is. And now we found our wire on the back side that we're going to be tying into. I'm going to take our 2 wires here, we'll pass them through. We'll just need to line up our holes there and we'll get our original screws installed. Alright, now as far as our inside connections go, we'll start with our ground. Now if you have a ground wire, you're going to connect it with a butt connector, just like what we will our next wire there. This one does not have a ground wire, it's a single line system. So we're just going to add a ring terminal on here. That nice and secure. Then we're going to use one of our self-tapping screws and we're just going to self-tap it right down there to the frame. That'll give us all the ground we need. Now for our power wire, we're going to go to our running light signal here. It'll be the same one that yours was connected to. I just had to add extra wire in here. It was it's pretty rough looking, so we got some fresh wire to work with. I'm going to take these two and strip them back equally. I'm going to twist these together, and we're going to use a butt connector to make our splice, so we don't have to use any kind of quick connectors or wire nuts or anything like that. So they're both twisted together. They both go in one side of that butt connector, and we'll crimp it down. Make sure they're both in there really well, and that's just going to go to the other side. Now this is inside. I'm still going to use a heat shrink butt connector on it. Generally gives us our best bet about having a good corrosion-free connection. You can use a heat gun or a mini torch to get this shrink down. Generally when I just do one, I just use a lighter. The key is not to melt it. You just want to warm it up so it starts to shrink. Alright, now at that point, just want to test it out. As long as it comes on and works, you're going to be ready to put your trailer back together.